Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I am your Melanated Queen and your hostess, Lil Foxy, aka Seven Wonder. How are all of you doing today on this Sunday evening? This is Sunday Rendezvous with yours truly. Hope you all are having a blessed day. Today, we're going to be delving into what's been hitting the internet hot and heavy this weekend. It's a very interesting one. You all, Hassan Campbell. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and just give a shout out to all of those people out here that do have real family, real friends that look out for us, people that are still able to walk, talk, breathe, hear, see, and that value and cherish your lives, man. We got to give thanks that, we have all the necessities that we need in this world. So let the church say amen. Let's get into it, y'all. Without any further ado, I want to get into this whole Sean Combs, Cassie situation that hit the internet hot and heavy, and it was over in a matter of a split second. It didn't last long at all because allegedly they already settled. So let's go ahead and delve into what allegedly took place, you all. Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over the lawsuit that was filed against Puff Daddy by Cassie. There were some court documents drawn up and it goes into some details about what took place during the course of their relationship. All right. So I was reading through it, and basically, you have page one, then you have page two. So this starts to get into what allegedly took place between the two of them. And I'm going to go over that with you right now. Here it says, the truth, however, is that Cassie, Miss Cassandra Ventura, was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking, among other violent and unlawful acts by Mr. Combs. Now, we all know how the music industry gets down by now. It is no secret what takes place with these people. And anybody going into a relationship at this point with the likes of one of these individuals should be very weary and leery of what could take place because these people have a lot of money. We all know that money speaks, money talks. So they don't really care about your well being because they feel like they can pay everybody off. All right. So let's continue on. It says here that Miss Ventura was raped in her own home after she tried to leave Sean Puff Daddy Combs. She was often punched, beat, kicked, and stumped on. It says that Miss Ventura, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding, blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested in Miss Ventura, and everybody has confirmed that that man was Kid Cudi, which is a rapper. And he did confirm that his car was indeed, in fact, blown up, forced Miss Ventura to engage in intimate acts with male intimate workers while masturbating and filming the encounters. So he has a very sick, dark fetish. This is by no means surprising or shocking at all. I don't think anybody is shocked by some of this. We've heard the stories, they've been out there for a number of years now. Ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom he learned was nearby. So he ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom he learned was nearby, demanded that Miss Ventura to carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is. And then he introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in 2005. You all remember those times when she first came out with that single Me and You. Then she had a few other songs. She had like one CD that she came out with that I'm aware of. I think she might have had like another CD, but it didn't really go that far because she became romantically involved with him when she was 19 years of age. He was 37 years old at the time. So basically, he was he was a great bit of deal older than her. 37, that's almost 40, and 19, that's almost half his age. And you have to consider that he also has daughters as well. He signed her to his label, Bad Boy Records, within a few years, lured Miss Vendora into ostentatious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle, and into a romantic relationship with him. Her boss, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, and a vicious, cruel, and controlling man for nearly 2 decades, her senior. Mr. Combs asserted complete control over Miss Ventura's personal and professional life, thereby ensuring her inability to escape his hold. Okay. And then it goes on to say that he provided unprecedented avenues for her success. Throughout their relationship, Mr. Combs was prone to uncontrollable rage and frequently beat her savagely. These beatings were witnessed by Mr. Combs' staff and employees of Bad Boy Entertainment and Mr. Combs' related business, but no one dared to speak up against their fighting and ferocious boss. And I can definitely believe that people do this all the time. And in the industry, in the corporate arena, anywhere, they're scared to speak out against anyone they feel that has money or power. Following these episodes of horrific abuse, Mr. Combs would immediately attempt to hide Miss Ventura and the evidence of his violent rage. He often showered her with gifts, following incidents of physical abuse, um, and typical pattern of behavior by serial abusers. In addition to the physical assaults, he frequently reminded her of his ability to cause serious harm, whether by requiring her to carry his gun in her purse or by blowing up the car of a musician that was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. So he's crazy. And, you can look at him and see the devil in his face. So I don't even know why anybody would actually entrust him. Adding insult to injury, Mr. Combs used illegal substances and threats of violence to force Miss Ventura into repeated unwanted sexual encounters with male sex workers. Over the years that Mr. Combs abused Miss Ventura physically and sexually, she again and again tried to escape his tight hold over her life. Every time she did, Mr. Combs' vast network of corporations and affiliated entities found her, and those who worked for Mr. Combs's companies implored her to return to him. Many went as far as to explicitly state that her failure to return to Mr. Combs would hinder her success in the entertainment industry. When she believed that she had finally separated from her long term abuser, she joined Mr. Combs for a dinner, after which he forced her into her home and raped her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Craziness, y'all. Miss Ventura has now fully escaped Mr. Combs, but the harm that the assaults and sexual abuse he caused her to experience for nearly a decade will forever haunt her. She has required intensive medical and psychological care to recover from the trauma she lived through. She cannot, however, continue to live in silence about what she endured. Mr. Combs remains immensely powerful and immensely dangerous. Miss Ventura, therefore, seeks justice for the decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away, from the threats of violence, excessive use of drugs, physical and psychological abuse, and sexual slavery. According to Miss Ventura, Miss Accordingly, Miss Ventura brings this action seeking injunctive, declaratory, and monetary relief against defendants in violation of federal sex trafficking. Um, oh, it's a list of things here. So here we go. The violations are raises federal questions regarding the deprivation of plaintiffs' rights. Um, Mm, 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 mm. So basically, she was employed by defendants Bad Boy Records, LLC, and Bad Boy Entertainment and related entities, among them Doe Corporations 1 through 10. So she's just not suing him. She's actually also suing the label. Defendant Sean Combs, upon information and beliefs, reside within the state of California. At all evident times herein, Mr. Combs met the definition of an employer of plaintiff under all relevant statutes. Defendant Bad Boy Entertainment is a music, media, and entertainment company founded by defendant Sean Combs, which includes the record label Defendant Bad Boy Records, LLC. All right, we're going to continue on here. Factual allegations. Teenage Miss Ventura meets middle-aged Mr. Combs as her career begins. So we already had gone over that. It says here, to promote the album, Miss Ventura made television appearances on MTV's Total Request Live, BET 106 in Park. Miss Ventura suffered from significant performance anxiety during these appearances, and press outlets were highly critical of Miss Ventura's performances on these shows. I remember that because he actually came out and tried to defend her. Mr. Combs, however, sought to rehabilitate his newly signed talent, telling MTV News, "You could hear the nervousness in her voice, and to be honest, I kind of smiled at it because it made me really appreciate what I really love about her. She's a regular person. It just made me appreciate that she got nervous, and it was kind of cute to me. To be honest, you've got to understand that success for her is coming out of nowhere. It's just so huge, and sometimes everybody handles it differently." While clearly paternalistic and noting that it was cute to him, however regular, Miss Ventura appeared. Mr. Combs' comments rang true to some extent upon signing with Bad Boy Records. Miss Ventura was quickly thrust into the spotlight and was unfamiliar with how to navigate her new celebrity status. I mean, so basically, we can clearly see what was going on here. In exchange for everything that she gained, she was abused in return. Within a year of signing with Bad Boy Records, Mr. Combs became deeply entrenched with Miss Ventura's life, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her and inserting himself into all aspects of her career and her personal life. In November 2006, Mr. Combs invited Miss Ventura to perform his song Come to Me along with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Copenhagen, Denmark. After rehearsal for the performance, Mr. Combs walked around in a robe with a drink in his hand, flaunting his lavish party lifestyle to his label's newly signed artist. During hair and makeup leading up to the performance, Miss Ventura's hairstylist and Mr. Combs' makeup artist told Miss Ventura that Mr. Combs was interested in her. She shrugged off the gossip and, in fact, expressed disgust given the large age gap between her and the president of the record label, emphasizing the age and the power dynamic early on in the working relationship. Mr. Combs. All right, so we get the gist here, okay? So, with all that being said, he invited himself to her 21st birthday party in Las Vegas. He also brought along famous musicians and producers, thereby flaunting his celebrity status and influence in front of a young and impressionable Miss Ventura. So she basically fell for it. Mr. Combs pulled Miss Ventura into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her. She did not consent to this unwanted contact. She immediately ran out of the bathroom in the hotel suite and cried. She told her best friend at the time about what happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. Hmm. And then it says here at the music awards the following day, Miss Ventura's boyfriend at the time joined her and Mr. Combs at a table at the awards ceremony. Mr. Combs became angry, telling Miss Ventura that the invitation to the award ceremony was only for her and not for her significant other. Despite the clear rejection of Mr. Combs' advances, he continued to demand that she spend time with him, including for a weekend at his residence in Miami for the nights out in New York City. And then it says one particular night, September 2007, he insisted on taking her out and she acquiesced, fearing that rejecting him would have repercussions for her album deal and his company, Bad Boy Records. She went up from the apartment in Manhattan in a blue luxury vehicle. She was surprised as she got into the car. Mr. Combs was already inebriated. He handed her a pill and told her to take it. She asked what the pill was, and he dismissed her and told her she would like it. She later learned it was ecstasy, something that she had never tried and did not want to try. This was the first time he gave that this was the first time he got her high. But she was of age. She was 21 at this time. She was old enough not to take pills, but she did it anyway. Mr. Combs then proceeded to drive recklessly at high rates of speed down the West Side Highway of Manhattan. See, because he was probably used to taking this. She was very scared, but did not dare to object to him, who appeared drunk, high, and agitated. But this is how they get when they're on that stuff, y'all. Mr. Combs took Miss Ventura to an upscale lounge in downtown Manhattan, where he proceeded to get into an altercation with the security staff who would not permit Mr. Combs to enter, presumably because he was belligerent. Miss Ventura decided to go home, but for the remainder of the night, Mr. Combs messaged Miss Ventura incessantly, complaining that he left him high and alone. Oh, she left him high and alone. In early fall of 2007, Mr. Combs flexed his power when he paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party hosted by Miss Ventura. This fake posting allowed her to have an excuse to go to Miami, Florida, and get away from her boyfriend by using the guise of a legitimate event that she had to attend. She was stunned at how easily Mr. Combs was able to recruit others to lie for him. She was uncomfortable with the fake flyer, but because the request to go to Miami was made by the owner of her record label, she was scared to go against his wishes, and to face repercussions to her career. So she joined him in Florida. During this trip, Miss Ventoria was provided with copious amounts of drugs. She became more intoxicated than she ever had before. Throughout the weekend trip, she wanted him to continue to support her career. She did not want to refuse. He urged her to take more drugs. And after providing her with drugs, he had sexual intercourse with her during the trip. Within 2 years of meeting her, she found herself lured into the immediate circle of her boss, the owner of the record label, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry. Okay, let's continue on here. So we know that there was an age difference. Everybody knew that. So she said she felt intimidated. And he would repeatedly tell her, "Don't worry about money. I have money." He purchased a car for her, paid for her apartment, and provided her with extensive amounts of designer clothing. 2008 to 2009, he began to rent an apartment in Manhattan for her. And it was within walking distance of his New York residence at the time. Um, he showed Miss Ventura the apartment by bringing her there with her parents. Her parents were skeptical of the display of wealth, but proud that their daughter had a newfound success. So it says here that her travel, her makeup, and clothing was provided directly for her by Mr. Combs and affiliated companies. All right, so it continues to talk about the drug use, and would often have pills and other drugs out in the open, just like it was candy. He was addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. This is no secret. We've already heard about, the fact that he has a high tolerance of doing drugs. Um, it says here that she was given a prescription that Mr. Combs received from a doctor in Miami, Florida. And Mr. Combs exhausted his supply of pills. He demanded that she procure the pills from the Miami doctor in her own name. He became deeply involved with her personal life, day-to-day travel, and other needs, including medical care. On multiple occasions, he had her personal medical records sent directly to his email address, and she began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive drug use or head injuries caused by his beatings. Her MRI results were provided directly to him, and he also repeatedly arranged for his staff to drive her to certain doctor's appointments. So he manipulated her by what she called her grandfather. When Miss Ventura Mr. Ventura said that she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop. Mr. Combs perversely insisted that Miss Ventura referred to him without that nickname. All right. It was violent and abusive. So he would also he started a whirlwind of celebrity meetings and drug and alcohol fueled parties, however, quickly turned frightening and violent. Um, let's see, she was exposed to the intense violence when they were using drugs together in his home. One of the security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel Drive's and Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. Miss Ventura became terrified and began to cry. On at least 2 occasions, Mr. Combs demanded that she hold his gun in her purse. She had no familiarity with guns and was petrified that the firearm would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold the guns except to reinforce to his girlfriend that he was violent and dangerous. Okay. Multiple violent beatings, leaving bruises on her body. Um, he uses money to orchestrate power and extensive efforts to hide the evidence of his abuse. He would get a hotel room for days at a time to let her bruises heal. One instance was after a party with Jay-Z. He beat Cassie repeatedly in an Escalade, including kicking and hitting her. He forced her out of the vehicle on Fifth Avenue in New York City. She was able to get a taxi and get to an apartment in Manhattan where she cried in fear, realizing there was no one she could tell about what she had gone through at the hands of his incredibly powerful man. She spent the subsequent 3 days hiding in the apartment. So this was going on for years. In 2009, Mr. Combs learned that Miss Ventura spoke to another music manager at Los Angeles. He became enraged. She hoped that in speaking to the manager, she could grow her career. Um, it says Mr. Combs would be happy. She thought he would be happy for her, but instead he became angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. And I'm pretty sure if this stuff was happening, the people around them had to have witnessed this stuff. I know the staff witnessed it. I know people in the industry had to witness this stuff, but it's probably very normalized in the industry and people don't talk about it because this goes on with more than just Cassie. This goes on with probably a lot more people than what we know about in the public. And this is what they go through behind the scenes. So every time people see them with their hair, their makeup, all these high price fashions and these vacations, just imagine what they really have, the price they have to pay for all of this. In the car leaving the club, Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face. Mr. Combs' security staff, Roger Bonds, tried to stop the beating but was unable to de-escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Mr. Combs' residence, Miss Ventura attempted to run away, but Mr. Combs followed her and proceeded to again kick her in the face. Miss Ventura was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Mr. Combs' home, where she began to throw up from the violent assault. Upon recognizing the damage he had done and the physical evidence of his abuse, he panicked and forced his staff to bring her to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in Los Angeles, where she was required to stay for a week. We've heard about stuff like this going on. I remember 6ix9ine's girlfriend talked about the same thing in a hotel room. She was beat. He knocked her teeth out and had her stay in a hotel room because her face was so beat up. During this stay, as her injuries from the beating healed, Miss Ventura began to fully realize that Mr. Combs' tremendously loyal network not only knew about and witnessed his assault, but also that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop his behavior. She recognized that she was powerless and that reporting him to the authorities would not alter his status or influence, but would merely give Mr. Combs another excuse to hurt her. While in the hotel, she asked to go home to her parents, but he wouldn't let her leave. She lied to her mother when asked about an online gossip forum that reported the assault. Mr. Combs proceeded to instruct his assistant to purchase excessive amounts of gifts for Miss Ventura, which were delivered to the hotel room where she remained trapped. She was terrified, isolated, and unable to see a pathway out of the abuse and the hold over her life. Um, by his own admission, his relationship with her was like Bobby and Whitney, a clear acknowledgement of unequal power dynamic and excessive domestic violence and permeated their relationship. Miss Ventura had heard others refer to her relationship with Mr. Combs as akin to Ike and Tina, and her volatile and abusive partner, who also owned her label and therefore held the future success in his hands, had fully exerted control over every aspect of her life. Within a few months of being a romantic relationship with 47-year-old Mr. Combs, the 22-year-old Miss Ventura felt beholden to his whims and demands. She wanted He told her that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. Mr. Combs said that it would turn him on if he saw Miss Ventura with another DICK. The first time Mr. Combs hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles, the man, Mr. Combs, and Miss Ventura wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed Miss Ventura to perform sexual acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. He masturbated while he directed Miss Ventura and the man to do specific sexual acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Mr. Combs began to call the arrangement a freak off or an FO. He would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura at random moments that he wanted an FO, and Miss Ventura was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of the male sex workers. At certain points during Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs' relationship, he would insist on a freak off weekly. Mr. Combs would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura that this practice was our thing and our secret. FOs, freak offs, would often take place in hotel suites, including at the Trump International Hotel in Columbus Circle, El Hermitage, Beverly Hills, the London Hotel in Los Angeles, the Intercontinental Century City, and many others. In one occasion around 2013, Sean Puff Daddy Combs had a freak off set up at the hotel in New York, after which he was charged with tens of thousands of dollars in damages by the hotel. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Tony Fletcher, paid the invoice that was charged by the hotel. Okay, so it says here Mr. Combs told Cassie to search for large black penises on the website. Sometimes he would pay to fly male sex workers to his location. So all the reports about him being GAY, this is what he likes to indulge in, including to multiple cities in the United States as well as abroad. He required Miss Ventura and his staff to help them make these arrangements. Mr. Combs, Sean Puff Daddy, assistants would help to set up the freak offs, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. Sean Puff Daddy Combs supplied Cassie and the sex worker with copious amounts of drugs before and during the freak offs. Cassie was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during the freak offs, which allowed her to disassociate during those horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after the freak off to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. She was required to dress up in lingerie for the freak off, and Mr. Combs insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to have sex with her. During the freak off, Mr. Combs would instruct her to pour excessive amounts of oil over herself. He would then instruct her and the sex workers to speak to each other, and then would specifically tell her where to touch the sex workers. He would say things like, grab that big black DICK and ask her how does it feel, as he directed her to perform for him. During the freak offs, in addition to directing her, Miss Ventura, and masturbating, Mr. Combs would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film Miss Ventura with the hired workers. He treated enforced encounters as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took, while Miss Ventura quickly deleted any photographs or video of any acts if they were taken on her phone. Mr. Combs repeatedly made clear that he retained many videos of her doing those freak offs. Even when she deleted the videos, he would tell her that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. On one occasion, he sat next to her on a flight and made her watch a video she thought she had deleted, reinforcing her inability to escape and the immense power he held over her. He would pay the male workers a few $1,000s in cash for their services. He would become extremely intoxicated and would hit her in front of the sex workers. She was repulsed by his demands, but between the physical beating and recognizing his incredible power and temper, she was petrified and felt that she could not say no. He would present her with lavish gifts prior to or in the middle of the freak off, seemingly acknowledging the ways in which these forced sexual encounters constituted work for Miss Ventura and that he needed to compensate her for the work. At one point, he had given her so much designer bracelets for the freak offs, and immediately following his brutal beatings, that she felt that she was shackled by his presence. Frequently, her anxiety before a freak off would become so great that she would become physically ill, sometimes to the point of vomiting. While kneeling over the toilet, he would shame her into performing for him, eventually forcing her to get up and proceed with the encounter. She knew firsthand that telling him she did not want to engage in the freak off was met with anger and violence. In addition, any suggestion that she would refuse or otherwise refuse the freak off would come to his abuse was met with ultimatums by Mr. Combs, who would say that she could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. Around 2015, in August, in the middle of a surprise birthday party dinner, she was 29 at this time. He insisted that she leave the party and go to a hotel for a freak off. When she expressed she did not want to go, um, Mr. Combs had her cornered by his security staff in order to force her to leave with him. After the freak off, they went back to the hotel room where she was staying, where some of her friends were already hanging out. Mr. Combs was severely intoxicated and at one point during the night picked up one of her friends like a child and dangled the friend over the balcony of the 17th floor hotel suite. Her and her friends were scared of his erratic behavior, and Miss Ventura was heavily sedated because of the drugs she took to participate in the freak off and therefore was unable to respond to his terrifying behavior. The freak offs became work for Cassie, and despite her protestations, Sean Puff Daddy Combs insisted on these intricate stage and forced sexual encounters between Miss Ventura and the male sex workers. So it looks like she did try to escape at some point. Anytime she tried to create distance between her and Mr. Combs, he used his networks to find her and convince her to return to his abuse. So we read that earlier. On multiple occasions, he sent employees to lure her back in. To 2011, during a rough patch in their relationship, she had a brief relationship with musician Kid Cudi. When Sean Puff Daddy Combs returned from a trip, he demanded another freak off, but Cassie, and then she did go through with it. During the freak off, Sean Puff Daddy Combs found her phone and found emails between her and Kid Cudi. So he became enraged and proceeded to place a manual corkscrew between his fingers and lunged it at Miss Ventura. He ran away. She ran away to stay at Kid Cudi's home to escape Sean Puff Daddy's abuse. Soon after, one of Mr. Combs' staff members told Cassie that he needed to just talk to her, even though he was enraged. She went to her parents' home in Connecticut, where her mother took pictures of the bruises that he left on her body. In 2012, during Paris Fashion Week, Sean Puff Daddy Combs told Cassie that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. Cassie Ventura, was terrified as she began to fully comprehend that Sean Puff Daddy was both willing and able to do the things he believed if she slighted him. All right. So 2015, let's see what happened here. A popular manager at an after party in a hotel suite in Las Vegas. Mr. Combs saw her speaking to the manager, sternly told her to step into the bedroom adjoining the suite. In the bedroom, he beat her severely. She ran from the corner to corner of the room trying to avoid him as he was beating and kicking her. While she tried to lock herself in the bathroom, he pushed through and punched and kicked her while she curled up under the toilet. Her screams were drowned out by the loud music playing in the area of the hotel suite outside the hotel. So he had head of security and assistants. The head of security and assistant saw her. After the assault, they began to cry. She had two black eyes, a burst and bruised lip, and a huge welt on her forehead. Upon seeing the results of the vicious attack, Sean Puff Daddy Combs immediately took steps to conceal the wrongdoing. He forced her to stay at a home in Holmby Hills along with one of his sons. While there, Mr. Combs FaceTimed her and stated, "You got to go up and put more makeup on. My son can't see you like that." She did put makeup on per his demands. She felt that she had no choice but to obey her abuser. Even though security guards, assistants, and friends saw the situation she was in, no one dared to help her or speak up on her behalf. She therefore had no choice but to remain subservient. Later in 2015, while shooting a movie in Cape Town, South Africa, Cassie began a flirtatious relationship with an actor. She spent New Year's Eve with this actor, but Sean Puff Daddy Combs soon found out. Mr. Combs called the actor and threatened him. The actor proceeded to call Miss Ventura and tell her, "You really need to call Mr. Combs." In or around March 2016, during a freak off at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles, Sean Puff Daddy Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. After he fell asleep, she tried to leave the hotel, but as she exited, he awoke and began screaming at her. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get into the elevator, and when she got to the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. Upon realizing that her running away would cause him to be even more angrier with her and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse, she returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from him. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into a cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing him beating her and throwing glass at her in the hotel hallway. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. After this, she left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at a friend's home in Florida. James Cruz, president of Bad Boy Management, tracked Miss Ventura down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Sean Puff Daddy Combs' phone calls. A woman who worked at Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. Incredibly, Mr. Combs even convinced one of his attorneys to tell Cassie at this time. This lawyer told Cassie that it's in your best interest to call Sean Puff Daddy Combs back. Each time Miss Ventura tried to run away, Mr. Combs and his powerful network would force her back to him. Sean Puff Daddy Combs, P. Diddy, tight hold over her life, had irreparably damaged her friendships. Around 2018, Cassie was with her friend Carrie Morgan in her house when P. Diddy used his keys to Miss Ventura's house and came in unannounced. He and Miss Morgan had an altercation during which Sean Puff Daddy Combs threw a hanger at Miss Morgan. Upon information and belief, the incident resulted in a settlement between her and Miss Morgan, and Miss Ventura ended up paying Miss Morgan additional funds in an attempt to resolve the dispute between her close friend and her abusive and controlling boyfriend. The relationship between Miss Ventura and Miss Morgan has been strained ever since. Seeing the extreme measures of Sean Puff Daddy Combs took to keep a tight hold on Cassie and isolate her from her support network. And having experienced the repercussions of rejecting his demands, Miss Ventura felt that saying no to Mr. Combs would cost her something: her family, her friends, her career, or even her life. So by 2017 and 2018, she became desperate to leave him and his abuse. She recognized that if she stayed with him, she would never be able to have a successful career or ever be physically and mentally safe. She therefore became determined to completely break away from him and his cycle of abuse and made concerted efforts to avoid him. September 2018, she joined him for a dinner at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, California, for what she believed would be a discussion about concluding their relationship for good. After dinner, he and her returned to her home, which was paid for by him. He forced himself into her apartment and tried to kiss her. She told him to stop and attempted to push him away. He then forcefully pulled off her clothing and unbuckled his belt. He proceeded to RAPE her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Soon thereafter, she took steps to completely separate herself from the long-time abuse, including by leaving the home that he paid for and returning the car he purchased for her. Despite moving away, her address was posted online in early 2019, leading to fears for her safety. She was under immense duress during the months after Mr. Combs RAPED her, took all steps possible to entirely remove herself from her abuser's ambit, including by entering into contracts to end her record label with Bad Boy Entertainment. And this talks about the sexual and physical abuse that she endured as a result of the immense trauma she endured for a decade with him. She suffered and continues to suffer from immense emotional distress. Following her escape from the cycle of abuse and sex trafficking she endured, she struggled with the physical and mental manifestations of her trauma. The birth of her two children, however, allowed her a new lease on life and gave her purpose. I didn't even know she had two children. She credits her children with saving her from the trauma that had consumed over a decade of her life. Except for the 2 months when she was pregnant with her children, Miss Ventura struggled with her addictions to drugs and alcohol, addictions that were established and fueled by Sean Puff Daddy Combs. She turned to substances to drown out the memories of her abuse without being intoxicated. She suffered from horrific nightmares of the forced sexual acts that he demanded she participate in during the regularly scheduled freak-offs, and the physical beatings that she endured throughout her relationship. She had difficulty eating, sleeping, and her relationship with her family suffered. During this time, she frequently had thoughts of ending her life. To rebuild her life and her career, she needed to completely reinvent herself. She checked herself into inpatient treatment at a rehabilitation center where she first confronted the extent of the trauma she lives with. She has acquired intensive therapy and other medical care to recover from the abuse, and she will forever live with the physical and psychological repercussions of the decade of violence, fear, and exploitation she endured. Although Cassie was unable to speak up against the years of abuse she endured at the hands of Sean Puff Daddy Combs, she has since been able to rebuild her life and confront her trauma thanks to the passage of New York's Adult Survivors Act and California's Sexual Abuse Accountability and Cover Up Act. She is now ready and able to also confront her abuser and to hold him and those who enabled his abuse accountable for their actions. This is terrible. All right. Plaintiff repeats and realleges the allegations, and it talks about everything that we just went over basically. All right. So this is what happened between allegedly Puff Daddy and Cassie throughout the duration of their relationship. Um, it also talks that she, as a plaintiff, seeks reasonable attorney fees. Um, It talks about the violation of the New York Services for Victims Human Trafficking Act. And as we all know, they've already settled out of court. So she was paid already. Um, the the lump sum amount we don't know, but in order to, I guess, save his reputation and not to have this further go on, he already has had it settled. This is the power of money. I'm pretty sure there are other victims that may or may not come out that have been abused by him. This is a pattern. He seemed very comfortable with it. He seemed to be very open with it. Um, so I don't see why in the world anybody would think this is a surprise. And I'm not surprised or shocked by this at all. I mean, like I said, you can look at him and see that he looks like a devil. All right, so this just talks about, like, what she went through, what she's faced with: battery, sexual assault, all of that for 10 years. You all, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that other than I'm glad she got away from it. Hopefully, if anybody else has endured abuse, they can come out and share their story. But yes, this has been interesting. And as I wrap that portion of the video up, I want to get into this whole Hassan Campbell debacle, because of this situation. This is what has caused the tirade that we saw and witnessed earlier on YouTube. I'm going to turn my camera on for this one, y'all. Here I am. So, y'all, earlier today, I don't know if y'all saw, but I actually caught the end of it around 11 a.m. Hassan Campbell was speaking out about the Puff Daddy and Cassie situation that took place earlier today. And during this whole tirade, he ended up going live. He actually, what we witnessed him do was post up a video of himself. He set up a tripod at the Bronx River projects. We all have heard him talk about Bronx River, right? So he allegedly, well, he didn't allegedly, he actually got upset because of what happened between Puff Daddy and Cassie. And so he went off on live talking about everybody cares about Cassie, but nobody cared about what he went through experiencing through the hands of Africa Bambaataa. Okay, when he was a child, when he was a teenager. So I don't know if he was having flashbacks, but he was upset at the fact that Cassie got an undisclosed amount settlement, and he ended up getting nothing when he allegedly, came out trying to expose Africa Bambaataa for the situation that he went through. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into this whole thing with yeah, because it's crazy. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and share the screen. And just be forewarned that there's some very profane language that's being stated in this video of Hassan Campbell. Well, setting up, basically, he's setting up a tripod. So he actually had to get prepared when he went out there. And he's wearing bright orange so everybody can see him. Now, I want you to think about this. In order for Hassan Campbell to do this, he actually had to get up at around 10 a.m. because where he currently lives is about 40 minutes from there, the Bronx River projects. So this is what he had on his mind at 10 o'clock in the morning. Who knows what time he woke up, because by the time he got out there, it was 11 a.m. When I looked at my live, it was around 11 o'clock a.m. And he lasted on that live for about 25 minutes, just in a rage of disgust, saying very vulgar things, yelling out there, causing a disruption to the public, y'all. I've seen footage saying that he passed away. I don't think that's true. I hope it's not true. I don't wish death on anybody on YouTube, but just look at him. He's getting ready. He's getting prepared to get into this whole situation. And look at the expression on his face. Something definitely appears to be wrong. He looks troubled. Okay, this is the building where they're going to start throwing bottles at him right there in the background. And those people coming out there, they have no idea what's about to go down. They're just innocent bystanders going throughout their Sunday morning.
What y'all telling me? Exactly. What is the world telling me? Cassie could get $50 million for being in a relationship that she don't like. But I can't even get no attention for the shit that was done to me in Bronx River. The fuck is y'all telling me? What is y'all telling me? What is the world? What are we saying? I didn't ask nobody for fucking money. What are y'all telling me? What is y'all telling me? What is y'all telling me? Stop calling my fucking phone. I'm in the hood. Y'all know where to find me. 1455 Bronx River, Harvard Ave. I ain't got nothing.
All right, just right there.
What are y'all telling me?
Right there, y'all. He just gave it the address to where he is located. Everybody on YouTube that wanted to get with him or that wanted to track him down, they now know where he lives, where he's located, not where he lives. So right there, you're already putting yourself in jeopardy and harm's way. Not to mention, everybody has already said he has family, he has children, he has, people that he's taking care of. So we already know this. He knew this before he went out there. And y'all, I gotta say, mental illness is real. Sometimes people don't get medicated. Sometimes people don't get counseling. They don't get the help they need. But this right here has taken it to a whole new freaking level. He has made many, many different videos doing stuff just like this. And sooner or later, if you keep doing the same thing, it's going to catch up with you. But let's continue to hear what he has to say. All right. And look right here in the background. I don't know if you can see that as the young lady is coming out of that building, 1455 Herod Avenue. That's exactly what he just said out of his mouth. So you can see the address is posted up right here. Anybody that wanted to get at him could come right there and get at him.
What y'all telling me? Exactly. What is the world telling me? Cassie could get $50 million for being in a relationship that she don't like. But I can't even get no attention for the shit that was done to me in Bronx River. The fuck is y'all telling me? What is y'all telling me? What is the world? What are we saying? I didn't ask nobody for fucking money. What are y'all telling me? What is y'all telling me? What is y'all telling me? Stop calling my fucking phone. I'm in the hood. Y'all know where to find me. 1455 Bronx River, Harvard Ave. I ain't ducking nothing. What are y'all telling me? What the fuck is y'all telling me? What the fuck is y'all telling me? Oh, this ain't gonna go viral. They're gonna keep this shit real small. Cause don't nobody.
Yeah, this is gonna go viral because of what happened to him. You gotta be careful about what you say out your mouth. Like, he keeps making a freaking history of doing the same stuff. And now look, he has allegedly been shot. I've seen a few reports online saying that he didn't make it. I don't think that's true, but apparently they're saying he got shot.
Give a fuck about the kids in the hood getting fucked. I don't want to be in the industry. I don't like the industry. I totally disrespects the industry. I'm in the hood. Nobody likes me in my hood. I robbed these niggas. I extorted these niggas. I put these niggas on a curfew. Y'all already seen it. I'm in the hood where it is what it is. It is what it is. Ain't nobody gonna make me go nowhere. But I'm just saying, what is y'all telling me? My life and my pain wasn't worth nothing? That's what the fuck y'all telling me? Everything I went through as a child, everything I went through wasn't worth nothing? That's what y'all telling me? That's what y'all telling my kids? You expect me to give back to a fucking community that ain't give shit to me? What the fuck is y'all telling me? What is y'all telling me? Where the wolves at? Where everybody at? Where the wolves at? What the fuck is everybody telling me? My story wasn't worth shit? My story wasn't worth shit. I ain't asked for no money.
All right. So he continues to go on his tirade, right? And eventually you're going to start seeing somebody from up above throwing bottles at his head. And then he really is going to go off. Look at these people coming out there.
Nah.
They don't know what's going on.
Nah. Y'all niggas support rape culture and this shit. Y'all niggas support rape culture and this shit. Y'all support rape culture and this shit. Live in these projects. I dare you niggas. Fuck somebody tell me I can't do what? Y'all let that rape nigga come back to Bronx River but gonna tell me I can't do what? I dare you niggas.
He was asking for it. It's so sad, man. Like, this didn't even have to happen. If he did get
Dare
shot,
you niggas. Y'all not playing with Hassan Campbell. Y'all playing with Poppy. I dare you niggas. I stab you niggas with a fucking spoon.
with a spoon.
Throw that pot. Come downstairs,
There we
niggas
go.
out here.
There we
With
go.
girls and boys, and y'all let that nigga. I refuse to tuck my fucking tail in. I'm the realest nigga to forever. Forever, ever, forever. Forever. Come outside, throw that fucking bottle. Come downstairs and throw that pot. Come downstairs and throw that fucking bottle. Come outside and throw that fucking bottle. I stab your ass to death. Bitch ass nigga. Come outside and throw.
All right. So you can see he's getting into a very, very, very aggressive demeanor with whoever threw that bottle at him. And that was not the first time. They kept throwing the bottle. You know, he even had the birds flocking away, running away from him on the playground. Like this happened right in front of the play area. It says play area closes at dusk. This is what he decided to do at 10 o'clock in the morning because he had to drive over there, get over there some type of way. I know it took him at least 40 minutes to get there. And keep in mind, he had to put his clothes on. So he had to figure out what he was going to wear, match his hoodie with his hat. He had to pick out a whole outfit to go out here.
I dare you. Throw that fucking bottle out the window while I'm watching. Throw the bottle out the window while I'm watching. Don't wait for me to turn my back. Come downstairs. Come downstairs. Come downstairs.
Now look at what he has behind his back. And you see this guy right here approaching him. He doesn't know what is going on. The one that's wearing the Nirvana shirt right here. He's coming down and he doesn't know what's going on. And he got a knife behind his back. Like he's waiting for something to happen. He's asking for something to happen.
Good, right? Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Yeah, he didn't have any issues with Hassan. He was just trying to figure out, and look at how he's looking at his hands behind his back. He's looking at whatever this is right behind his back. Now here comes the dude with the dog.
What's good, though? What's good, though? What's good, though? Don't throw it out the window. I ain't running. Oh, we got Poppy outside. Let's go. Let's go. What up, though? We got Poppy outside. What's
Somebody just said, I'm a fan, homie. So whomever he's talking to, that person is letting him know, like, I'm a fan. They're probably a subscriber watching him on YouTube. Could be watching him live right now. But he's out there like he wants it with everybody. The whole hood can get it. King Kong ain't got on me. I'll have you playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? He's with that type of energy.
good, though? Don't throw it out the window and duck, nigga.
Pelican Bay.
You just throw shit out the window? Oh, I'm about to be good because I already know an army gonna come out.
Yeah, see, somebody had just said to somebody, they threw an S out the window and they said, Yo, Papa, you good? He said, Oh, I'm about to be good because I'm about to have a whole army coming out here. But if you're going to do something like this, you should already have your army lined up. They should already be lined up waiting for you. It shouldn't be you out there by yourself with the camera and a knife.
This motherfucker. Don't hide in the house. Come outside. Come outside with the shooters. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though?
He said, come outside with the shooters, y'all. That's what he said.
Don't throw it out the window. Come outside. Come outside. No, don't hide. Which I call it the police, right?
Yeah, people speaking to him from the balcony and from up there. They know him. They're like, What up, Poppy? He said, Nah, don't speak to me, which y'all call the police.
Come outside. Don't hide in the window. Don't call the police, though. Yo, Pop, you doing your thing, man. Don't call the
They
police.
yelling at him. They say, Yo, Poppy, you doing your thing. Go to F home, yo. So he's out there really for no reason because he got upset about the verdict, I guess the settlement with Puff Daddy and Cassie. And that triggered something in him because of the Bambaataa situation and the fact that he didn't get any support, the support that he think he deserved from his community. So he decides to get, I guess, in the car or however he got there and go all the way out to the Bronx River projects. For what reason, I have no idea.
Police? Shook ass niggas. Don't call the police. Now the police, don't call the police. That nigga's crazy though. Bronx, Africa Bambaataa raped the whole community. He raped the old G's, the little G's, the young G's, and nobody gave a fuck. But everybody give a fuck about Cassie? All y'all care about Cassie? I'm not going nowhere. Come outside, don't throw a fucking bottle, you faggot ass nigga. Come outside. Throw a bottle while I'm outside. Throw a bottle while I'm outside.
Throw a bottle while I'm outside.
I'm not running nowhere. Come outside, you faggot ass nigga.
He threw a bottle while he was outside.
Scream out your apartment. I stabbed your mother to death. Faggot ass nigga. Don't throw a bottle.
He should have went up there. He should have went up there and knocked on the door. That's what he should have done. You want to throw a bottle at me? I'm coming to you. That's what he should have done. He had a KNIFE already on him. Go up there.
And hide. Come outside, nigga. I'm out here. I'm out here. I'm out here. And if that people are playing with me, I flood this fucking building with 1,000.
Is that a bandana in his back pocket, yo?
Niggas, stop playing with me. 1455 is my shit.
Oh, he claiming the set, y'all. He claimed 1455. But Hassan Campbell has always said that people should stay away from the project, stay out of the hood, don't promote the hood. He has a house. There's no reason for him to be in the hood. He has a whole freaking family and all these children. Why would you want to jeopardize your life and yourself and your future to prove to the internet that you can go outside? Like it just doesn't make logical sense.
I will beat your mother up, bitch. I will fuck your mother up.
Now, what does his mother have to do with this? That's taking it to a whole different level right there.
Don't throw nothing out the window while I'm not looking. Come outside.
Go upstairs.
What up, though? Don't throw it out the window. I'm not looking. Come outside, nigga. Come outside. Come outside. The Warriors is out. Come outside.
Where were the Warriors, y'all? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Where are the Warriors? Where were the Warriors when he allegedly got SHOT? Because if the Warriors were there, he shouldn't have gotten touched. People shouldn't have been throwing bottles out the window either.
Come outside. What apartment is that? That's what I thought. What apartment is that? What apartment is that? What apartment is that? That's what I thought. We outside.
Man, sometimes people take it too far for YouTube. It's just not worth it. All this YouTube fame, it's just not worth it. Like when it comes down to your real life and your safety. And on top of it, do you think this man, knowing and seeing and watching you with the camera, knowing you're on live, is going to yell out his apartment number for the world to know where he lives?
Come outside. Come outside. The wolves is out. Come outside.
Somebody is definitely blowing his phone up. They're trying to get in contact with him. You can hear his
You already
phone.
know where to find me at. Don't call my phone.
His phone is buzzing. It's blowing up. Because
Don't throw nothing out the window.
they probably just trying to tell him to go back home, get in the house, leave from over there. That's why they calling him. But you know, he got a point to prove.
Throw it from the front building. Throw it from the front building. Play with me if you want to. Now niggas play with me if you want to. When I finish, I'm gonna throw your mother down some steps. Keep watching out the window. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Y'all don't even understand how many niggas love me. Keep on playing. This is my building. I wish y'all niggas would. I wish you niggas would. Keep on. When I catch that window and that floor, I know the floors and I know the window. When I catch it, I'm not even.
If you know the floors and you know the window, why ask him what apartment is that coming from? You should already know.
Looking up. When I catch it, your mother gonna get thrown down a flight of steps, you broke ass nigga. And every nigga in my army gonna stomp that bitch down a flight of steps. The fuck y'all playing with? Who y'all playing with? I look like I'm running. Come outside, nigga. Don't throw it from the window.
Wow. They meant that.
Come outside. Come outside. Y'all niggas see what they throwing out the window. Nigga, I got an army out here. Come outside. Come outside.
You ain't got no army out there.
I look like I'm running. Come outside.
Got the dog barking at him.
What up, boy? Come outside. Come outside with the shooters. Come outside. Where you at?
It's too early for all of that.
Don't throw no bottles out the window. Come outside. That's what I thought.
Oh my goodness.
Come outside with the shooters.
All right, so now you're going to see this guy walking up over here. He told the guy to keep his distance. And the reason, at first, I thought it was somebody that he didn't like. But this guy right here is somebody that I think that he knows. And this guy's walking up on him and he's telling him keep his distance for this guy's safety since they're throwing bottles out the window. I guess he doesn't want him to get harmed or hit or hurt.
Where you at? Now keep the distance. What up, though? 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 Don't stay in the window. Come outside with the shooters. Don't stay in the windows. Come outside with the shooters. Don't stay in the window. Come outside with the shooters.
He said that once too many times.
Everybody got something to say. Until a real nigga got something to say. Everybody got something to say. Until a real nigga got something to say. Come outside. That's my shit right here.
Okay. Now, this guy right here, he's looking around. And as you can see, there's somebody back there with a dog. Looks like a little boy walking his dog while all of this is taking place. But this guy right here, he's looking around. They're scoping around. And both of them are looking in the same direction. If you pay attention, they both looking in the same direction right there.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What up, though?
Mm-hmm. Now look at the expression on his face. This guy right here, he's looking down at his phone. I don't know who that is in the background right there, but there's still people out here. So somebody had to see something. Somebody had to hear something. With all that noise going on, all these windows in the background, you know people are looking outside. Now watch this. Watch this. He trying to tell him something. You see, he's looking that way. He's walking towards him. He's trying to warn him about something.
I see.
I'm trying to see what we can hear in the background because it sounded like I heard something like, I don't know what it was. One, two, three, four. I don't know if those were gunshots or what that was, but you can hear something in the background. I don't know if y'all could hear it. It went boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did hear that. I don't know what that was.
What up, though? I see.
He said, Papi. And then it sounded like he said, I couldn't really hear it all the way. He might have said Popo, but he said something to him and he said, I see. So they're looking. See, we can't see because of the way the camera is facing. The camera is facing Hassan Campbell. And he put that camera there just in case something happens. People can see live on air if something happens. I think that's why he set that up like that.
Who that?
Take the second exit on Westchester Avenue.
See, the guy was telling him something else, and you heard Hassan Campbell say, "Who that?" And then it cuts off. So something took place in those last couple of seconds of that video.
I see. Who that?
Take the second exit
Oh,
on
yeah.
Westchester Avenue.
Okay, so all right. In the distance here,
I see.
in the distance here, like right here, there's people
Who that?
walking.
Take the second exit on
People
Westchester
started
Avenue.
walking towards him in the background. I'm gonna pause it. Right in this area right here. I don't even know if y'all can see because I can't zoom in. I don't have that capability or the technology. There's some guys walking back here past the playground area, past those that fence area, down the walkway behind Hassan Campbell, where the breezeway is. There are two guys walking in black. I don't know if that has any significance or what, but there are definitely some people coming up.
I see.
Right here, right behind Hassan Campbell, past that light pole. He turned around, he's looking, and the guy's trying to tell him something. And they're walking down the sidewalk. He's looking.
Who that?
He said, "Who that?" Then all of a sudden, the camera cuts, and then they're in the car. I don't know how in the world the camera cut like that.
I see. Who that?
Take the second exit on Westchester Avenue.
I need to get to that.
Who knows where Westchester Avenue is? Take the second exit on Westchester Avenue.
Real quick.
So right now, he's about 5 minutes away from where he was at first.
Take the second exit on Westchester Avenue. In a quarter of a mile. Turn left on
Leave him. Come on,
West
go. I got.
All right, you can hear the navigation telling them where to turn in the background. It sounded like they said turn right on Watts Avenue or something like that.
Leave him. Come on, go. I got you. Go straight. I need to get to the
Turn
hospital.
left on Watts Avenue. He said, I got to get to the hospital.
A quarter of a mile.
Leave him. Come on, go. I got you. Go straight. I need to get to the hospital. I got you, son. I'm gonna get you the ambulance.
He said, I got shot, son. My only question about it is, why is he, if he got shot, Why is he driving instead of the other guy driving? Why wouldn't he let the other guy drive? And why is he looking down at the phone like that? Like he looked like he's looking right at the camera while it's on live.
Red light camera reported ahead.
Ah,
I don't know. The whole thing at the end is kind of weird.
Turn
Nah,
left on
leave him.
West
Come on,
Avenue.
go. I got you. Go straight. Go
I need
straight.
to get to the hospital.
I
I'm
got
shot,
you.
son.
I'm gonna get you to the ambulance.
Now he said, I'm going to get you to the ambulance. Why wouldn't his friend, if he has a phone, call the ambulance, call 911 and be like, yo, my friend got shot. Can you meet us somewhere? We're in this type of car. We're on this road. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to make sense of this whole thing.
Red light camera reported ahead.
Ah. Ooh. Oh, wait.
Pull over. Let's just get you an ambulance.
That bullet getting hot.
I know. That's what.
He said the bullet getting hot.
Red light camera reported ahead.
Ah.
Did they say red light camera reported ahead? Okay, it says navigation.
Red light camera reported ahead.
Ah. Ooh. Oh, wait.
Pull over. Let's just get you an ambulance.
That bullet getting hot.
I know. That's why I said just pull over. Let me get you an ambulance.
He said, that's why I said, just pull over. Let me get you to the ambulance. So did Hassan Campbell get in the car and try to drive if he was shot? Why wouldn't his friend get in the car and try to drive him? It doesn't make that part didn't make sense to me. And then y'all, if you go to Hassan Campbell's, I don't know if it's still up here, but if you look at his right here, there's an update. It says Hassan is going into surgery and will be okay. So far, no fatal wounds, but yes, he was in fact shot because a lot of people were saying that he was not shot. They didn't believe it. Who is this person that pinned it? I don't know. But however, they must have some type of access to his YouTube page in order to pin this um, to his page. I don't know how they were able to do that. And it's 122 replies. Also, too, and yeah, they're talking about his mental health is real. Yeah, mental health is real. Need to take his own advice. Yeah, I'm glad he's gonna be okay, but hopefully he'll stop playing with his life like this. Almost got his TV turned off. That's what he likes to say about other people. You got to be real careful with stuff like that, y'all. But there is an article going on about Hassan Campbell. I don't know if anybody saw that article, and it was saying that he succumbed to his injuries. I was even seeing on here where they were saying in his live chat, RIP. I think is right over here. So this is the live chat from earlier. They said, just join. What happened? Let me see. He looks like this now. Got him. Talk about he's the voice of the streets. They're yelling and crying like a hoe. Cursing in front of women and children. Say, why is he out there like that? Yeah, they were talking about it earlier. Somebody in the chat was saying RIP. I don't even know if I can find it now, but that's what it was saying. And then there was also two articles that I saw online saying that he didn't make it, which I don't believe that. I hope that's not true. I don't even know how they would get that information. But yeah, I'll just be looking through the comment section because I'm trying to see what people are saying. Somebody said, give that man an Oscar. That was 5 hours ago. But yeah, he did this at around 11 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time for all of you out there. He's on the East Coast out in New York. So factor that in depending on where you live. And that's how many hours ago this took place. It says, dog, you made it out. You have a family and built a name for yourself. They can see the pain in his eyes. It's crazy. Yeah, a whole lot is going on with Hassan Campbell, man. I don't know if something went on with his wife, if something went on like in his personal relationship. And a lot of people are saying that he has a drinking issue, that he was drinking, he went out there drunk. A lot of alcoholics, they do start off drinking in the middle of the day, sometimes early in the morning. I don't know what actually caused him to do it, but like I said, for him to be out there at 11 a.m. in the morning, he had to have gotten up at least by 9:30, 9 o'clock, 10 a.m. because he had to get out there. It takes at least 40 minutes to get from where he resides, his side of town, out to Bronx River. So he already had this premeditated because he had a tripod to set up his camera on. So that's all I'm saying. They said to stay away from the liquor. Hopefully, when he makes it through and out of the situation, um, he will just stay off the internet for a little while. Like, I know we all like to hear him talk about the real stuff that goes on, but nobody wants to see anybody get hurt over some nonsense, because this was complete nonsense.
Go
I
straight.
need to get to the hospital.
I
I'm
got
shot,
you.
son.
I'm gonna get you the ambulance.
Red light camera reported ahead.
Ah. Ooh. Oh, wait.
He said, I'm gonna get you to the ambulance. How is he gonna get him to the ambulance and he's not driving?
Red light camera reported ahead.
Ah. Ooh. Oh, wait.
Pull over. Let's just get your ambulance.
That bullet getting hot.
I know. That's why I said just pull over. Let me get your ambulance.
So it looked like at that point he
In a
stopped.
quarter of a mile. Turn
Now,
left on
leave him. Come on,
West
go,
He
go.
stopped driving at that point. He was driving at first.
I see.
Who that?
Take the second exit on Westchester Avenue.
Yeah, he said, who that?
I need to get to the hospital quick.
At the roundabout, take the second exit on Westchester Avenue. In a quarter of a mile. Turn left
Now,
on
leave him.
West
Come on, go,
Avenue.
go. I got you. Go straight. Go
I
straight.
need to get to the hospital.
I
I'm
got
shot,
you.
son.
I'm gonna get you the ambulance.
Red light camera reported ahead.
Ah. Ooh. Oh, wait.
Pull over. Let's just get your ambulance.
That bullet getting hot.
I know. That's why I said just pull over. Let me get your ambulance.
He said, no, that's why I said just pull over, let me get you an ambulance. I don't know, man. It's been a lot going on with this whole debacle here with Hassan Campbell. But anyway, y'all, this has been an episode with Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I hope you have enjoyed this commentary. Like, share, and subscribe. And everybody out there, just stay blessed. Please continue to just stay safe out here, y'all. It's not worth the nonsense to prove things to YouTube. That we just had a situation with the Cardi B and Tasha K thing. It's not worth it. All of this stuff. What is this? My apologies, y'all. Let me get this off here. I just had to get out of that. That was wilding out that just popped up. But yeah, it's not worth it for YouTube and all of that, for all this nonsense to take place. Enjoy your real life. Stay safe. Enjoy your family. Blessings to everybody out there, and you just take care of yourself. It's real out here. This has been an episode with Brown Girls Are Beautiful. And until next time, y'all continue to walk in your divinity. I'm signing out.